but it can be done. And so what that means for me, if I think about Drupal 8, for example, the next major release of Drupal, which I promised myself not to talk too much about, because it would scare most of you. But I want to have one slide sort of on Drupal 8. And I think if we want to succeed in the enterprise, I think we still need to focus on missing features, right? That's a low-hanging fruit, which things like configuration management and staging, which is something that I really want to help fix in Drupal 8. And to succeed in the low end of the market, I think we really need to focus on creating better experiences. Like, I think we need to continue to focus a lot on usability, just like we did in Drupal 7 and just like we did in Drupal 6. And also, in thinking about this, both really require us to focus on usability. Also in the enterprise, people care about usability. And we also need to improve performance for both. And we also, to do both, we need to make Drupal a better framework. So I think actually there's a lot of overlap between those two strategies, which is why I think we can pull it off. So I think we have a choice, and the choice is either we can be hard to kill, but not super relevant, or we make it our goal to make Drupal one of the dominant platforms on the web. And I think we can crack this code. I think we can figure it out. I think we're uniquely positioned, honestly, to achieve this goal. Like I said, no other CMS is doing distributions right now. No other CMS has sort of the technical, I think as a framework, we're actually well ahead of some of the other CMSs, and I think that will really help us achieve this goal. To get there, we do have a lot of growing up to do, but we have to, we need to do that anyway. As soon as we release Drupal 7, we'll see many more people, and we have to learn and deal with that growth. That growth means a lot more people will join us. Maybe next year will be 4,000 people, or maybe even more, who knows. And I'll be very scared again, very intimidated again. And the thing is, these people might not have drunk the Drupal Kool-Aid. God knows, maybe it's their day job to do Drupal. They might not want to be part of the community. They might not understand how, how if you give back, you get, back so much in return. They might not understand that Drupal can actually be a lot of fun. The other thing is we'll see a lot of complexity, or added complexity, and sometimes it's necessary. Hopefully it can be avoided, and hopefully we'll work hard to avoid a lot of that complexity. But it's sort of, it's part of growing up. But I think the key message is, as we grow, we need to stick to our core values and our culture. And that's the culture that was created back, in 2005 or before that, when we were really small, and it has served us really well throughout the years. It's a culture of sharing and collaboration, and it's absolutely key to everything that we do. It's, giving back. So anyway, everybody in this room should be giving back, and everybody in this room should tell others to also contribute back, because that's how we scale this thing. That's how we continue to grow. It's also a culture of passion and believing, just like the people in Europe organizing their own mini DrupalCons in less than 2 days. It's the same passion and belief that those 25 top contributors have to deal with all of those issues, and it's very important that we harness that. It's also a culture of self-organizing, again, like those conferences, where everybody is a respected leader, but also a follower. It's people stepping up and doing the stuff. It's a culture of innovation, like things like CouchDB, MongoDB, Cassandra, the semantic web stuff. It's it's very native to us. It's very much part of our DNA. And in many ways, we're ahead of any other project in this regard, and that's something that we need to harness. It's a culture of execution. Doc is silver, code is gold. It is a slogan that we've used since 2002 or something. It's also a culture of having fun and not taking yourself too serious. And I think if we do all of those things, and if we carry out those values to others, I think awesome happens. And it's sort of a cool slogan, and I don't know. I think when awesome happens, it's more than being innovative, right? It happens when we're all totally in sync, both with each other as well as with the market. It's sort of a very special feeling. It's a feeling that I get when I'm, with other Drupal people. It gives us a certain buzz. It gives us a certain soul, which is not available in any other project. So, with that, I want to thank you for listening. Happy to answer some questions. Thank you. I'm going to invite Pritish to the stage. Is he here? On his way. And I think he has collected some questions somehow, and will be asking these to me. Is that right? Welcome.
Hi, everybody. I collected questions over Google Moderator. My name is Pritish Jacob. I work for Binary Solutions. The first question that we have is, should the goal of Drupal usability be to make it easier for Drupal developers or Drupal end users?
It's a good question. I think the answer is both. I don't think it's either one or the other. I think when I think about Drupal 8, it's improving the experience of the end user. It's improving the experience of operations people, things like staging or configuration management, and it's improving the experience of developers, by making Drupal a better framework. So I think it's all of those things. I think we can do that. So.
Do you think that's is that in the scope of Drupal 7 or something that you want to shoot for in Drupal 8?
I think Drupal 7 is frozen at this point, so it has to be for Drupal 8.
Right. Second question we have is, what should be the process for adopting new standards for Drupal core? HTML5 is coming, for example, and these things have huge repercussions.
Well, I think the process that we always use to have a discussion about it, and then we make, typically there will be consensus, and people will just go ahead and adopt the new stuff. And if there's not consensus, I think we need to, make a decision about it. And in this case, I think, yes, we have to support HTML5. So,
are there? And part of that question was, are there best practices from other industries, other open source software platforms that we can kind of leverage?
Not sure about best practices, but I think every project is slightly different. I don't know if there's best practices around decision making. I mean, there's a lot of different projects and they have all of different dynamics. Some have very rigorous decision making, but as a result, they're also slow sometimes to adopt new things. So I think our decision making process is a little bit less formal, but I think it fits our culture. It fits our style.
Right.
So.
Sure. And the last question I have, and I want to thank somebody from Ottawa for submitting those questions. And the last question I have is, when is the next DrupalCon and where is it going to be?
Next DrupalCon will be in Copenhagen, Denmark. And we have the King of Denmark himself. So let me invite the King of Denmark to come and talk about DrupalCon Copenhagen.
Okay, so I'm pretty happy to be here, let me just say that. I'm actually here to announce the next upcoming DrupalCon, which is going to be in Copenhagen. And this one is going to be hot. And what do I mean by hot? Well, we started planning 4 months ago. And just by the planning, we kind of set up that volcano. I'm kind of sorry about that, and I was talking with the guys back home in Copenhagen about what we're going to do about this stuff. Well, couldn't we put how about we put the early bird price on for the next 3 days? Instead of just having like the first 100 tickets, that's always going to be Robert Douglas and Dries who's going to buy those tickets. We're going to put them on instead so actually people have a chance to get it. So for the next 3 days, what we're going to do is going to have our early bird price $249, as far as I know. You can actually get them already now. The first 2 of the tickets were sold like 3 minutes ago. We didn't. I'm not kind. How do people even know this stuff? But as you can see, the URL is pretty basic. You should be able to find it. And just to put into perspective what it is that we want to do with this DroogleCon as well. Besides of this, we're building our own bar. We are building our own lounge for people who's not into that drinking, just want to hang out. Let me see. Oh, we're doing the very first DroogleCon beer by one of the top microbrewers in the world, and we might even throw in a Viking ship. I am looking forward to see all of you guys in Copenhagen in about 4.5 months when the volcano have kind of slowed down a bit. So, thank you for even letting me be here.